it bother you that she does not take questions from the press? I've been here for 3 hours. She will not take 5 minutes of questions. Does that bother you? For a president, not a senator, a president.
I haven't watched her on the press a lot, so...
Because you wouldn't be able to watch her on the press, because she doesn't talk to the press. Who are you voting for?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably Kamala.
Why?
Or I'll just write somebody in, but probably Kamala. It's just my views.
What's her greatest accomplishment?
Kamala's greatest accomplishment? I mean, I don't know. I don't...
No. Can you name a single accomplishment?
I don't follow politics that much, to be honest.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. In this video, we have 2 clips of Charlie Kirk absolutely dismantling some woke university students. Let's get into it, and I'll catch you on the back end of each clip.
I'm voting for Kamala because of the child tax credit and because of...
Really?
Yeah.
You know the one that Trump had in his tax cut?
No, I know. It's a good thing, though. I agree with it both.
Yeah, so do you think that Kamala would manage the economy well?
Yeah.
Why hasn't she done it the last 3.5 years?
She's the vice president. Are we gonna
right.
act like the vice president is managing the economy?
Do you think Joe Biden's running the economy right now?
I think the White House senior staff.
Hold on a second. If Kamala Harris wanted to run the country, she could. How did Kamala Harris do with running the border?
Again,
How many illegals have come in under her watch? Can you guess?
7 million.
Look, I obviously don't know the number off the top of my head.
It's 10 million people. Is that a success?
I don't think the border wall would be any more of a success.
Well, hold on. Under Trump, border crossings were at an all-time low. Kamala Harris, 10 million people have illegally come to this country, which is more than the population of New Jersey. Why does she deserve to be a president when she can't even manage the border?
Why? Okay, so, yeah, I know. The bill that Biden and Harris put in to increase the border patrol.
Don't. 1 second, please. It's not about the bill. You could do this all by executive order. Remain in Mexico. They've decided to empower the foreign invasion. Kamala Harris has overseen the border. She failed. She oversaw the Russian-Ukrainian dispute, went to the Munich Security Conference, and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians died. She was the deciding vote on the Inflation Explosion Act that makes everyone have to pay more in goods and services. Her first day was 3.5 years ago as VP. What has she done that has given you confidence she'll do a good job as president?
I mean, she inherited a bad COVID economy, and it's gotten better. It has. It's gotten better since COVID. Yes, the economy is better since the end of COVID.
Prices are higher. People can't afford homes. 1.5 million people lost their jobs in the last year. You ask anybody in the economy, the American people don't agree with it, by the way. 75% of Americans disapprove of the economy right now.
Yeah.
But if she was so good, by the way, so she says, I'm going to do no tax on tips, stole it from Trump. Why doesn't she just tell the IRS to do that right now?
Right. She's been in there years.
I don't honestly know much about tax on tips and the IRS thing.
But let's just put all this aside.
Yeah.
Would you not agree that Trump's presidency was objectively better than Joe Biden's?
I would not agree on that. What did Trump do that you really
border crossings all-time low? No new wars. You agree with that, right? No new wars?
He didn't pull out of Afghanistan, which he promised to do.
Hold on a second. No new wars.
He continued a war, though.
Which war?
The war in Afghanistan.
How many Americans died in Afghanistan under Trump?
He didn't pull out troops, though. He promised.
Yes, he did. He was winding it down. No new wars under Trump. Guys, let me talk, please. Guys.
Yeah.
But let me just, so the economy, under Donald Trump, if you guys want to buy a home in your life, when Trump was president, please let me talk, man. Jeez. When Trump was president, you required $75,000 a year to be able to own a home. It now requires $120,000 a year to buy a home under Harris and Biden. $50,000 more a year. So if you guys want to buy a home, you have to make $120,000 a year now, thanks to Kamala Harris.
Guys, how much did it cost the last day of Trump's presidency, though?
$75,000 a year.
The last day of his presidency?
Yes.
During the height of COVID, it cost $75,000 to buy a home?
Yes.
All right.
And gas was $2.
She's a millionaire.
And so I'm getting at this, outside of vibes and Trump hatred, what has this woman done to earn anybody's vote? She won't take questions from the press. She didn't get a single vote from Democrat primary voters. She was installed by some sort of Zoom conference vote. Like, who is this person?
Right.
Can you tell me?
Kamala Harris, who is she?
Like, why should, did she earn any votes? Like, how did she get here?
I mean, she was the vice president, he dropped out, and she was on the ticket. That's my best guess of why she is.
Looking at this, does that give you confidence that this person should be president?
I'm fine with her experience. I think she has a lot of experience for the office. Yeah, I don't think you can argue that she doesn't.
I mean, we already went to the border, but just like, you got to give me something, or the audience, like, make the case. Like, we're here in a battleground state, Wisconsin. Like, show me the case. I'll give you the case. Trump was president for 4 years. People were richer. World was safer. Border was secure. Things were going really, really well. We respect our world. Kamala Harris, like, what's the thing? What's the sales pitch? Outside of vibes and Brat Summer, like, what is the pitch?
I mean, abortion's a big one. We're going to disagree on it, but I think it should be.
Okay, let's say you're right on abortion.
Yeah.
Okay, where is that the most important civilizational issue? While we're on like.
It's pretty important to a lot of people.
So just let me understand. So Donald Trump says leave it to the states. How would that impact Wisconsin?
So Wisconsin is this extremely gerrymandered state. Most of our statewide elected officials are Democrats, and our state legislature is almost a supermajority of Republicans. It's not reflective of what the state actually wants. And the law we're defaulting to is from 1849, I think. So it's left to the states, but we're not going to pass any new. We're going to default to 1849.
But isn't there a ballot referendum around it? It's on the ballot, right? Yeah. I was going to say Wisconsin just legalized abortion. So how would Trump even interfere with your abortion plans?
I don't think I think it's by appointing pro-life judges to circuit courts and things like that. That's the main way.
Okay, so the case for Kamala is that Donald Trump might appoint circuit court judges.
He's going to appoint worse judges. That's one of the most important parts of the presidency.
So I'm just being clear.
Appointing judges like
well, first of all, I think his judges were amazing and upheld the Constitution and the rule of law and all that. But it's remarkable to me that like the lack of the case for Kamala. Does it bother you? We can talk in a second. Does it bother you that she does not take questions from the press? I've been here for 3 hours. She will not take 5 minutes of questions. Does that bother you? For a president, not a senator, a president.
I haven't watched her on the press a lot, so
because you wouldn't be able to watch her on the press because she doesn't talk to the press.
Like she a few weeks.
It's fine.
If she's not talking to the press, I think she should talk to him more. It's not going to change my vote, but I think she should talk to him more.
Okay, last question. I'm sorry to keep you here.
Yeah.
Is there anything that she could do that would make you not vote for her?
Yeah, I think if she reversed a lot of her positions from the Democratic Party and moved more to the center,
like saying that she's for fracking when she was against fracking?
Or
saying that she was like against the electric vehicle mandate when she was for the electric vehicle mandate?
I'm talking about issues that I care about more than fracking. Like abortion and like gun control.
Okay, got it. So this is so interesting, and I'm glad we have clarity in that agreement.
Yeah.
I think preventing World War III and making sure Americans can own homes and having a robust economy not being invaded is far more important than the ability to murder unborn children, but we'll agree to disagree. Thank you.
That's where we ended, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As someone who's completely anti-abortion, right now it's left to the states. It's if you don't like the tax rate in your state, move to another one. We have freedom of movement. I know you can cry and complain, well, it's not so easy to move. I never said it was easy, but I'm saying you have options. If you're a girl out there who thinks you're just going to be getting pregnant and making bad decisions for your life all the time, you can move to a different state and make those where it'll be easier for you to delete lives. We live in a world where people want to have zero accountability for their actions. Now, I'm not talking about the less than 0.2% of cases where there's danger to the woman's life or there's incest or rape. Those are off the table here. I'm talking about the 99.8% of the cases. Millions and millions of babies being murdered every year. You want to make it easier on yourself to murder one, move to a different state. And Charlie talks about here about Kamala Harris not answering questions in the press. I think both candidates at all times should be doing long-form interviews in order for people to know their policies. And look, do what Trump's doing. Go on all the podcasts, talk to the press on both sides, talk to audiences that have different viewerships, and lay out your plan, lay out your policy. This is how it should be done. Now, Joe Biden pretty much won the last election from the basement, quote unquote won. He got lucky that it was the pandemic was going on, and he didn't have to do speeches and debates. Again, he won this thing pretty much from the basement. This is what she's trying to do here. They're raising so much money right now, the Democrats, so much money, which is why she's not doing any interviews, because once people can see that she's a fraud and she gets exposed from trying to answer questions, that donor money is going to stop coming in. And right now it's coming in the millions and millions of dollars. As the time of recording this, the debate hasn't happened yet between her and Donald Trump, and I still wouldn't be surprised if she pulled out, and it's a day away. Now, you want to talk about the border. Charlie mentions 10 million people the size of New Jersey. I like to use 1.5 million people a year, the size of Philadelphia, but same thing. The border is a big issue. Look at the crime rate that's going up because of all the illegals that are coming in. And even if these people, let's live in a fantasy land, and let's say none of them are criminals, and they're all nice people, you still don't want that. What this does is it takes jobs away from low-skilled Americans. A lot of business owners out there are not going to pay the minimum wage to a low-skilled American when they can just pay 50 cents on the dollar to a migrant, an illegal. It benefits nobody. But we know they're not all nice people. Like that famous line from Donald Trump, they're not sending their best people across the border. And you wouldn't want them to anyway. If these people were like doctors and engineers, you would want them to stay in these developing countries and help the country develop. But the southern border is controlled by the cartel on the Mexican side. The cartel who brings in fentanyl through these mules, through the border, that kills over 100,000 Americans every year. We need better educated voters. Now, in the next segment, we're going to watch Charlie Kirk try to convince a Kamala voter to vote Trump. Let's get it.
7 million new people under the age of 30 bought homes when Donald Trump was president.
Woohoo!
Yeah, isn't that great?
That's great. I love homes.
Yes, good. Now it is harder than ever to buy a home. When Donald Trump was president, interest rates were 2%. Now they are upwards of 10%.
Wasn't that also partially caused by COVID? I'm not a professional on this.
No, it's fine. Yes, of course it was partially COVID, but the point, a lot of it was bounce back. Donald Trump oversaw the greatest economy in American history for people our age. So yes, but to ask the question of deregulation, he got rid of 5 regulations for every 1 new regulation that he put in.
Okay.
And a lot of it is just paperwork. It's stuff that would drive you insane. Let me actually, so here's a good example. I'm guessing you have student loans, right? FAFSA? No, you don't have student loans?
Not yet. I'm a freshman, so.
Well, how are you paying for college?
I mean, I don't have. I have FAFSA money.
Okay, that's a student loan, right?
Well, it's a grant, so I don't have to pay it
Okay,
back.
so I'm paying for your college.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well,
so,
and when I graduate, I'll be paying.
So got it. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
my parents are too.
That's fine. Okay.
Well,
that's fine. I'm not insulting you. It's fine. It's okay. I hope you learn a lot. It's OPM. Other
just
people's
make
money.
the dig. Yeah.
No, it's fine. But no. So when you were filling out those forms, was there ever a time where you felt a little exhaustive and it was like a little duplicative?
No, the forms this year were actually really good. They were. For me, it was pretty good.
Does anyone sympathize with the amount of forms you guys have to fill out?
I mean, if anybody here is your supporter, they're gonna agree with you. But yeah.
Well, no, it's just a matter of like observing reality, right? Let me get to the point, which is important. Okay. So the financial crisis comes. They say it was deregulation.
Sure.
So we have thousands of pages. So if you guys want to go buy a home, you know this. You have to sign hundreds of pieces of paper, okay? And your parents can tell you hundreds of pieces of paper. So a small bank, let's say like the Bank of Madison.
Yeah.
They have like 15 employees.
Sure.
So when they have to fill out pieces of paper, that is time, energy that they can't afford. JP Morgan is a multi-trillion-dollar company. For them, extra pieces of paper is nothing. So who does regulation hurt more? The local Bank of Madison, Wisconsin, or JP Morgan?
But are you not cherry picking like what regulation is? Like I'm talking about environmental regulation.
I've already told you. So you have a very specific, narrow view of regulation.
No, I'm asking you about a specific type of regulation.
I've already told you on the environmental side. But let me be very clear.
That you're
most
pro
regulation
environmental
is paper. You know, most regulation is paperwork, right?
Sure.
You should go read the National Registry. I encourage you guys to do it. It is millions and millions of pages of unnecessary things that have to be notarized, and a lawyer has to sign it, and then it has to be a committee. And small businesses don't have the bandwidth or the money to comply with that, whereas big businesses do, right?
Yeah. How do you suppose we regulate them?
That's the question, right? Is that the government also sucks and big corporations suck, so what's the solution?
So you'd call for like a complete governmental reform? Would you call for a stronger federal government?
Probably not. No, I think that probably empowering the little against the big through increased competition and entrepreneurialism is probably the best solution.
But you're still controlling like monopolies and so forth because
most monopolies right now are made possible thanks to the government. So for example, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, they remain vaccine manufacturers because of the government.
Government funding.
And the government pumps tons of money in them through NIH funding and vaccine funding. Same could be said for the biggest food companies. They get huge agricultural subsidies. Big oil companies get big oil subsidies. Yeah, I mean, anyway.
She's mad at me this whole time, but she
will
agree
but
with
I'll summarize this conversation. I think you're coming at this in good spirit. Is that when you increase the paperwork burden and the needless amount of committees and lawyers, regulations, and accountants, it's harder for the next Elon Musk to found Tesla. It's harder for the next entrepreneur to start the next great company because he has to spend all of his time on compliance and not on wealth creation or entrepreneurial activity. Donald Trump wants to liberate the American entrepreneur to not be bogged down by unnecessary rules, regulations, and paperwork, and instead be worried about creating jobs and creating a lot of wealth.
Okay.
Who are you voting for?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably Kamala.
Why?
Or I'll just write somebody in, but probably Kamala. It's just my views.
What's her greatest accomplishment?
Kamala's greatest accomplishment? I mean, I don't know. I don't.
No, can you name a single accomplishment?
I don't follow politics that much, to be honest. I couldn't name Trump's.
No, but then why Kamala? Because you just like instinctively said Kamala.
Because I'm a Democrat. I'm a registered Democrat.
But can you just help me out?
Because
what is
I've seen Project 2025. I don't really agree with a lot of this stuff.
What?
I mean,
guys, if you enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Help it grow. Smash that thumbs up button. Really does help me out. Let's get back to the video.
I mean, dude, what do you want me to say? I told you I'm not a
Anything.
professional on this stuff. Anything?
Yeah, I mean, you're
Anything.
voting for Kamala. I'm curious why.
Should I not vote?
I mean, I think you should vote for Trump, obviously.
Oh. Why should I vote for Trump?
Because you'll be wealthier, happier. There won't be World War III. We'll have a border.
Can you tell me why?
Yeah, absolutely. Because for 4 years we saw that people your age were able to own homes. Your wages went up. We saw
People my age. I'm 18. People my 18 years old buying
correct.
homes.
Yeah, a lot of people 18 actually work and don't go to college, believe it or not. I know that's hard to believe.
It's not hard to believe. I have a brother who's a blue-collar worker. He's an electrician.
Okay, so then you understand it. So blue-collar workers saw their wages go up the most under Donald Trump. Younger voters were able to buy homes under Donald Trump. We saw the greatest economy in American history. Donald Trump had peace across the world. We first president.
But isn't peace with who? I mean,
well, Putin did not invade Ukraine. Israel was not at war with Gaza.
No.
It was the first president in 40 years.
But wouldn't you couldn't you argue that some of his policies allowed this to happen?
One second.
I mean,
There's a first president in 40 years where we did not have a new war, correct? We had new wars under Clinton, new wars under Bush, new wars under Obama, new wars under Biden. But Donald Trump, we had no new wars. Why is that?
I don't know. You're the expert.
Because he was a great president. Because we had peace treaties. Because it was peace through strength. The point is that we don't have to guess about the type of president Donald Trump is.
Are we weaker with like a Democratic leader?
Absolutely.
That's the argument. Interesting.
Well, think about it. Our dollar is worth less. BRICS is ascendant. Putin invades Ukraine. China is wealthier than ever.
Trump. How many pictures did Trump take with Putin?
Hold on. This is interesting. So pictures are a bad thing?
Well,
wait, hold on.
Why is he so associated with him?
That's an interesting question. So under Obama, Putin takes over Crimea.
Okay.
Under Biden, Putin invades eastern Ukraine. Yet his buddy with Trump, he doesn't take any land of Ukraine. Why is that?
Maybe
because Donald Trump used diplomacy. And he was able to have Vladimir Putin understand that you take a square inch of Ukraine, we will launch rockets into Moscow.
Would we really do that? Do you think we would have done that under Trump?
It doesn't even matter if you think it or not. What we know is the reality, is that hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians did not die under Donald Trump's watch. They did die under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
Sure, yeah. I can't argue with that. I mean, I don't.
How many American soldiers died under Trump?
Very few.
Yeah.
How many died under Biden?
A lot, actually.
How many?
13 in one day at the Bagram withdrawal in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yeah, and not to mention the American hostages killed just the other day.
Where? In
Gaza.
In Gaza?
Yeah, they were American passport holders that were American
Were they
citizens.
like press people?
No, they're American citizens that were at a rock concert, like a rave concert in southern Israel, were kidnapped by Gaza. So we are on the verge of World War III. Our dollar is worth less than ever before. It is harder than ever to buy a home. The economy is worse for everyone in this audience than it has been in over 30 years.
You're saying all this stuff, but again, like I came to you about environmental regulations.
No, for sure. But
this is.
No, I know, but I just want to go back to. I asked you. That's fine. You can vote whoever you want to.
This is like led to this. I understand that I've contributed to it.
No. It's totally fine. Obviously, I asked you why you'd vote for Kamala. You gave an answer.
Yeah.
And you have a right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
I will go home and do research.
Come back and tell me an accomplishment. And
when will you be back next?
I will actually be at the Alabama-Wisconsin game next Saturday, so come find me.
We're gonna get.
Yeah. So if you find I'm gonna go Badgers. If
we're losing.
If you find a single accomplishment of hers, only if you say you're voting for Trump.
I'll take it.
Yeah. This young lady gets a hat. But if you find an accomplishment, come find me. All right? Thank you so much. Appreciate the dialogue.
Wait, what if I say I'll vote for Trump?
I don't believe you at this point. Thank you.
Yeah, Kamala Harris complaining about all the policies that are going on right now and saying, oh, it'll affect change if you elect me. Girl, you're already in office. Like, where is Joe? I know he's still the president at the moment. Where is Joe? You have the power. You can do something now. This is what I mean. I know I catch a lot of flack on this channel when I mention this, but I don't think everybody should be allowed to vote. I think there should be a small civics test that you should have to pass before you can vote. I definitely think you should have voter ID, but you should also be not a moron. You should have some knowledge of what's going on in the political landscape. Like, the founding fathers of America never intended for everybody to vote. Originally, only landowners can vote. And I know at that point that was very disfavorable to women and black people, but we're not there anymore. Everybody has equal rights. But just because we don't discriminate by race and gender doesn't mean there shouldn't be any discrimination. I do think there should be a moron discrimination. You hear this all the time during election cycles. Oh, we got to get to the polls, get more people to the polls, more people to the polls, you got to get out to vote. As if just having warm bodies is beneficial to anybody. Warm bodies that, like this kid, are going to vote but know nothing. Who does this benefit? You are much more benefited as a country, as a society, by having educated voters, having a smaller pool of voters that actually know what's on the go. Now, I'm not saying I know the best way to do this, but I do think that a small civics test in order to vote could be something simple, 10 to 20 questions, something of the sort, just to prove that what's going on in the world. Also, you have to be a citizen. ID should be required. We see these videos on YouTube all the time, these man on the street videos, and the guys go up and say, hey, can you name 5 states, or can you name 3 countries that starts with the letter A? And they say, like, Africa. In my opinion, if you can't name the last 3 presidents, or you think Africa is a country, or you can't name 5 states, I don't know that you should be voting. I don't know how we benefit from this at all. And again, I know I catch a lot of flack in my comment section for this, that it's a wild idea. But I don't think it's that crazy. Pass a small civic test. If you fail it, you can't vote this time. But hey, Joe or Jane, try again next time. Educate yourself on what's going on a little bit in the world, in the country, and come back. Anyways, good video. Love these Charlie Kirk clips. Hope you all enjoyed it. If this is not your first time watching one of my videos and you're still not subscribed, hopefully this is a video in which I can earn your subscription. If not, please smash that thumbs up button. It really does help me out. Catch you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.